So here's my Roscoe 8. It's a size medium. It's set up tubeless, and everything else is stock. It took me a while to set the sag on this Roscoe. For some reason, the fork was not holding air pressure, and I was getting about 50% sag. And I fought it for about 45 minutes till I finally flipped the bike upside down, released all the air, and pumped it up that way, and that seemed to have worked. I think I just needed to equalize the pressures in negative and positive chamber, but it seems to be all right now. But I'm gonna go test it out. I brought my shock pump just in case I need it, so we'll see what happens. So the first Trek bike that I bought was actually a Roscoe 8, and I ended up selling that bike and bought my Fuel EX. So this is my first time back on a Roscoe 8 in a while. It's a lot noisier than my Fuel EX. A lot more clanking and clinging. I think that might be just the cables that are rattling around. I gotta get used to riding a hardtail again. I'm riding flat pedals, so I feel my feet coming off the pedals a lot when I go over bumps and rocks and roots. This bike, I can already feel it accelerates a lot faster than the full suspension, being a hardtail. It does feel a lot more nimble and easier to maneuver. This is also set up with a SRAM NX drivetrain, Shimano brakes. There's a pretty good climb here. I like to see how this climbs compared to the Fuel EX. This thing is a lot twitchier. It does feel a little bit faster going up this hill on this than the Fuel EX. Oh, this thing climbs nice. So this bike is definitely a more efficient climber than the Fuel EX full suspension. It climbs pretty good. Very twitchy, so very easy to maneuver around tight corners. This NX drivetrain has been really good so far. Shifts good, quiet, smooth. Brakes are nice. Brakes are actually really good. Dropper post is good. It does its thing. The only thing I want to do is quiet down the bike secure them cables a little bit better, keep them from rattling. Little wood feature. I'm really liking these Maxxis tires on this bike. They offer pretty good grip on the corners. See how this thing goes down some hills. Fork's feeling pretty good so far. Okay. I think this is a nice bike for the price range. Like I said, the only issue I had on it so far was the fork. Not wanting to equalize, where I kept putting air into the air shaft side, and no matter how much air pressure I put, it was still real squishy and would almost bottom out. And after a few tries, taking the air out, putting air in, running it through its travel as I was increasing the air, nothing was working. So what I ended up doing was flipping it upside down. I released all the air and pressurized it that way, up to 115 pounds. Once I did that, I could see it rising as I was pumping the air up. Once I did that, I turned it over, and the fork was stiff again, like it should be. So I'm not sure if I was doing something wrong, or there was something wrong with the fork and it corrected itself. I don't know. So comparing this hardtail to my Fuel EX full suspension bike, this one definitely is a lot better for climbing. It's more efficient, faster. Going downhill, I think it's almost as good, but you just gotta remember it's a hardtail, so it's not gonna absorb a lot of these rough areas like the full suspension is. Oh yeah. Ride her up. Oh yeah. I like this bike. The one thing this bike gets criticized about is the rear hub. Haven't had any issues with it so far. I did have another Roscoe 8 2020 that I sold to my brother-in-law, and he ended up changing the hub on it. It was just so quiet. and the engagement wasn't there. So he replaced it with the Hope Pro 4 hub. And now that Roscoe 8 is nice. Overall, this bike is really fun, really nimble, really easy to move around and turn. Climbing, it's great. It'll climb up anything. Technical climbs is good. Tires have a lot of grip. Brakes are good. Drivetrain is excellent. Suspension, the fork feels pretty good. Still a lot of fun, and would highly recommend this bike. Trek Roscoe 8. Thanks for watching.